name is John Bubb. I am very curious about a number of issues, one of which is why is it that President Obama and other politicians continue to refer to the notion that the free market has failed. We don't have a free market in healthcare. What we have is a big pile of government regulations and controls on the insurance, the pharmaceuticals, we have the FDA, we have bureaucracies, we have all this stuff going on, and they call that the failure of the free market. No, that's the wind-up of the bureaucracy, and we have plenty of it, and that's the failure, and that's where we need healthcare reform, is to get rid of all the bureaucracy. We need to discover what the founding fathers knew, and that is a free market works, freedom works. There's a few other things that bother me, and I'll state one more certainly, and that is why the rush to push this thing through before anyone has had the chance to read it. We know that Congress has been passing the bailout, the stimulus. They haven't even had time to read it because it hasn't even been printed. Now, what I like to see is for the senators and the congressmen not only to read it, but to give us about 3 months to get good and familiar with it so we can really let them know how we feel about things like, for instance, on page 429, why are they talking about the end-of-life orders from the doctor? I don't want a doctor appointed by the government to determine when I can live and when I can die. We do not want that. I think we see this. And I appreciate you holding this meeting for us. It's a lot more openness and accountability and transparency than I have seen in a long time, and I hope we get a lot more of it. And then healthcare reform maybe could happen, but not in the way President Obama wants it to. Thank you.
John, she wants to respond directly to you.
John, I said thank you. I will take your concerns back to the senator. I don't have all the answers for what is the rush, other than we know that healthcare reform is needed. The senator strongly believes that.
It certainly is needed, but let's think about it and let's do it right.
I will pass that on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. My name is Steve Knowles. I'm a resident of downtown St. Louis, Missouri. I happen to fall on the side of government being more the problem with health care than it is the solution to health care. I want to know exactly how adding government into the picture is going to make things more efficient. Because really, truthfully, you look at other departments, like the Department of Energy, for example, which basically supports oil interests. Are we just trying to create a big cartel here with government policy? I'm really concerned with the growth and the size and the scope of government, and there's no reason why, if you look at the Constitution, which Claire McCaskill is sworn to oath to defend, there's nothing in there about providing health care for everybody. So, I know that there's a lot of people here who have a big heart and want to see everybody have some sort of health care benefits and those sorts of things. I just don't feel that this is the way to go. Number one, letting government get involved in anything has not had good outcomes that we've seen. The size and scope of government is way too big as it is. So my direct question is, how is adding this level of supervision or oversight or regulation going to reduce health care costs when quite honestly you said yourself that the United States government can't keep the promises it's already made? Yeah, I mean, look at Social Security. That's going to be, I got my Social Security statement yesterday. It's going to be bankrupt by 2041. So then we add prescription drugs. Then we add Medicare and Medicaid into the picture. There ain't enough taxes to cover it. Do the math.
I will pass your concerns on, Steve, and I thank you.
I'm Doug Ivory from Wentzville, Missouri, and a few things I'd like to say on my concerns. We have France, the UK, Sweden, Canada. All of these countries ration health care, and it's failed. It is a failed system. People die there. Drugs that are developed in this country cannot be used there because of cost reasons. People with cancer cannot get the treatment that they need. People have to wait years to get on the list to see a doctor. I don't want that for my country. I've worked too hard for the freedom that we enjoy to have that happen for my country. And while we're at it, my understanding is some of the bills, the provisions of these bills, they want to cover illegal aliens. I think that's patently wrong. The other thing is they want to cover abortions. I think that we're looking at eugenics here. We're not looking at health care. And I think it's about time that the politicians got out from under their desks and got to the people and understand what our concern is.
Adopted by Nazi Germany.
And that's where we're headed.
Yeah.